Now we're on there. All right, so as per our bylaws, tonight's speakers are going to be the candidates who have applied for the officer positions. As far as I know, no one has applied for the officer positions. There is still some time, but we do need those applications in quite soon. Otherwise, this group is going to have a very hard time doing anything in terms of advocacy or doing travel awards or putting on events. So please, I'm sure many of you out there have said, I can do that better. I can do that. Or maybe you just have something in the university that you want to work on, that you want to change. I would very strongly suggest that you fill out the application at least, turn it in. Not a whole lot of work. And then if you have any questions, please come and talk to us afterwards, all right?
Are you all aware that the president's position is a paid position? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So the GPSC president is a paid position. Chief of research is a paid position at a lower stipend.
We're currently working on expanding the paid positions, but as you can imagine, it's pretty difficult. We don't have a whole lot of money to play with right now.
Can I see real quick who's actually eligible? So just to show of hands, everybody who is not graduating this year and has the intention of being part of the GPSC. Just keep your hands up because I'm really good at things.
It's more than half of you. Good chunk of you.
Those of you who are eligible, will you come back at 7:30 for about 5 minutes so that I can reverse you? You were running for student body president. Anyway, you should be running for president. What are you?
Why not?
One job.
Let's say, hey, yeah. Applications can be found at the GPSC website online. It's very short, very sweet, very just simple, and then you meet up with our advisor real quick, who would be your boss. So you'll know who you'd be working with ahead of time. But anyway, with that, we will move on to some new business. We do have a number of resolutions and a presentation from Brenna. Figure out where.
Okay, so we're going to talk to you guys today about high-skilled immigration. We're going to present three resolutions today about H-1B visas and EB visas. But before then, we wanted to educate some of you that might not know the process for immigration. We're not lawyers, so that's the caveat. Okay, so there's a lot of us that are international students, and a lot of us, a lot of graduate students are international students, and a lot of international students want the opportunity to stay in the United States. So there's a lot of benefits for having international students stay here, for diversity of thought, motivation, and also attracting high-skilled immigrants. So these are some statistics. There's a lot of research on this that shows there's a lot of benefits for like areas that have immigrants. And so without addressing immigration policies or having stringent policies, we are bottlenecking some of our innovation ingenuity. And it's important to provide a pathway to legal residence and citizenship, especially for those that have been trained in the United States, because the United States does pay for their education in many ways. So it helps and would help this country to maintain some of these individuals. So this is just a chart I found. It gives scores based on how open they are for immigration, and you see United States is number 9 out of 10 leading economies. So first we're going to talk about H-1B visas. So these are non-immigrant visas, and they're provided by employers. And this is a randomized process, known as a lottery, and so they give out 65,000 of them a year. And there's 20,000 of them that are specifically allocated to those that get masters or higher. So there's 350,000 student visas, which means that more than 80% of international students that got their education from U.S. universities will not be able to stay in the United States or work after graduation. So what we're recommending to do is to increase the amount of H-1B visas given to foreign individuals with U.S. master degrees or higher that are exempt from the cap that's currently allocated. And then also give full preference to individuals with U.S. degrees instead of the current lottery system for H-1B. So now we're going to talk about the EB visa, which is actually a green card. So this is a green card. There's 226,000 for families and then 140,000 for employment based. And there's two ways to obtain the permanent resident visa. So family based, so if you have somebody that already has a green card and you extend it to other family members, or employers sponsor you. And so employment-based visas are given to foreign nationals with, you have to show some sort of ability. They're able to work in certain domains that other natives can't work in. And then they also have things like, you have like a certain type of job, it's more likely to be extended to you. And so, yeah, EB visas, merit, skill-based, it requires the employer to file the petition, requires the proof that no U.S. citizen is available for the required position or job. And so there's a lot of processes that the employer has to go through to try to prove that, U.S. citizens they can't find any U.S. citizens eligible. So these are the people on the wait list. So there's a huge process, and so there's a wait list for both the H-1B visa and the EB visa. Most disproportionately affects citizens from China and from India. And so you'll see they have really long wait times for these programs to get even a chance at the EB lotto. And so the recommendation we're making is to increase the amount of EB green cards. That's the presentation. Do you guys have any questions?
Yes, up top.
We consider any
You said legislative? Is that?
We haven't considered that. I mean, it's just a resolution that we are proposing to inform you. So some of the things that the H-1B visa, that's just for temporary work. So it doesn't mean that's a path for green card even. That's just so that after graduation, want to work for 2 or 3 years and maybe go back to your countries. So that's a different thing. And then we precise a different process. That's for legal immigration through a high skills or merit-based, skill-based process. I mean, if you think about it, what would be a drawback of having high-skilled immigrants coming to the country? Now, granted that the former process, no U.S. citizen is impacted by that, and that's the thing that the USCIS has to go through to prove that no American is being impacted by that job position, then you can fill it with an immigrant. But I don't think, at least I don't have any.
Are you worried that universities are less likely to extend F1 visas if the intent is to stay? I don't agree with that, because, I mean, there's so many proven benefits of immigrants in our country, and a lot that they've done for our economy. Like you'll see back in some of the statistics, like most of the startups, most of our, are created by immigrants. Like there's so, and even when I go talk to congressmen from like Republican areas, they definitely support high skilled immigrants. So I don't see a drawback. I don't think that that would be something that they would try to do. Thing is, I mean, you guys pay taxes. Yeah, I mean, you guys pay taxes, and we also, like, US is supplementing some of the education, so it only makes sense to extend more opportunities if they do want to. I mean, they don't even have the option right now. But a lot of international students I've spoken to do want to stay.
All right, off to our left here.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kathleen McDonald. I am the board administrative representative. I normally, you guys normally see Dr. Shannon Lawson in this place. I guess, lucky token today. I used to work in international student and I was an international student advisor before I now became the student success coordinator and office graduate. So I just want to let you know I've listened to you all intently. He actually is right. So just to give you some clarity, an F1 and a J1 visa holder cannot and should not ever express their intent to stay because they're only applying by visa category to stay in the U.S. to study. So what he's trying to, I guess, clarify to you, if we move forward with legislation that says my intent is to stay, and you do that at hello, it could impede at where they offer your visa when you talk to the embassies. It would impede and create hostility where they won't issue them because they think that you're trying to gain immigration status. That's going to directly tie to your current, I guess, perspective of the President of the United States. He's not for it, he's against it, right? So to kind of back up what he's saying, this legislation is fine. If y'all want to move forward with it, it is your right to move forward with this recommendation. However, don't focus on students coming in, focus on what students gain once they're here and after experiencing American culture and learning what you learn in the degree program. Always argue from that perspective forward. Never attach it to someone coming in wanting to stay. It will create extreme hostility. And so, for example, as an international student, you can't tell us that you want to stay. It is our responsibility for USCIS to recommend that you go back home because that's the. So I just wanted to say that he's not actually wrong, he's actually right. And I was listening to the way you kind of use your language to convey what your perspective is. There's nothing wrong with your perspective, but only use it for what you gain once you're inside associated to your.
So what's the process? What's the current process to change from an F1 to an H1?
So it's not a change, it's a different visa category. So if you are an F1 visa holder, and I'm for it. So the best way to get an H1B is to be a faculty. The process is the lottery and teaching. You don't have to go into a lottery if you're a professor. But if you apply to these corporations that are in corporate America, then you get straight to the lottery. So you apply, and it's like say you're sitting in front of me right here.
Yes.
So I'm going to use you as an example. Everybody in this line are engineers from the Middle East, and they want to work for me on a petro, right? So that's what we typically see in ISA. You all would enter into a lottery, and that's how we choose. You all are not just professors in every department. I do not have the responsibility to weigh it all for you. Does that make sense?
So it's not.
Brenda, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Let's do 2-minute responses and then we're gonna move to the next person. Go ahead, Brenda, 2 minutes.
Or, no, I mean, why don't we just hear?
All right, hand up here, yes.
I just have a quick clarification question
Mhm.
about what
can work in the US after you obtain your degree. But what she's talking about is for students who, I'm assuming have completed that, are you talking about completed the overseas opportunity and then they have to leave? Is that what you were referring to?
We're just extending the program in general.
Any other follow-up from you two?
Yes, just to, some background, this is not specifically targeting current students or F1, J1s or other students. This is because of the trends in the politics. We're trying to see how this would impact grad students and high-skill immigration. So for example, as she was saying, students, when you graduate, you have an opportunity to work temporarily here in the US without applying for this. And H-1B visas are usually for temporary workers that may or may not be from foreign countries. So those, I mean, that's a free-for-all. Let's say if an employer wants to hire somebody from anywhere in the country that doesn't have to be a US graduate, they can do so. So, and there's not that 2 or 3 year limit. We're trying to increase the cap in the number of H-1B visas that are issued with preference to US graduates, let's say, or those who have a US degree, because there's a lottery system, and let's say other countries apply, and there's no preference if you have a US degree versus if you have a degree from other countries. So that's the thing that.
Up front?
I'm going to come up as pedantic, and I apologize, but if my understanding is correct, these are post-employment visas. I'm not sure how we have standing to take a position on the subject in the first place.
There's a lot of,
Can you elaborate?
Well, if these are visas for after graduate study, after graduation, these are employment visas, then I'm not sure if we really have standing as a graduate professional council for a university to take a position on these visas.
We are, so for clarification, we aren't taking a stance for the university. We are our own independent group, and we can take a stance on anything. If we wanted, we could go say that we're not a big fan of the way the Russian elections are run. We could
there's a
talk
lot
about,
of
we can talk
international
about anything.
students that have expressed to our body the frustration with the H-1B status. There's also, to my understanding, a lot of students that aren't coming to the United States because of this status, because they know that in the future, they might not be able to have the opportunity to stay.
And to further amplify on that, two things, 40% of some graduates are international, and at least for my personal, I represent the electrical and computer engineering department, and I don't know if you noticed, but most of those people that study electrical engineering are from China and India, and they are suffering for 5 years and 3 years waiting period if they choose to stay in the US and work. So I'm not saying, I'm not advocating for those students that making them easier, but for graduate students in general, if they choose to go and after graduation.
Let's go with Courtney.
Oh, I just wanted to say that I'm currently going through the H-1B process right now from an F1 visa. So there's a lottery, it's on April 2nd this year. There's 65,000 for general, then there's an extra 20,000 for like advanced holders. But I have a job lined up, but my outcome relies on a lottery that's not merit-based. I can kind of frustrating. So I enjoyed this.
Bowen, did you have something? All right, move on to Jesse, and then we'll, yep, I got the list going. Jesse?
Can you explain more about the lottery for international credits?
The H-1B.
So that's what the lottery is, the H.
Yeah, the EB-1 for green cards is not a lottery, it's just for H-1B. So what happens is that she was saying, you apply for it, for the H-1B visa, and then before you are actually, you have to have a job, and then you enter a lottery. So first there's a draft of 20,000 that are from US universities, but if you don't get it, then you go into the 65,000, and that's like, it's a free-for-all. So you are competing with people from India, China, I mean, all over Asia, Africa, America, all over countries. So if you think about it, the advantages are not on your favor because you're competing with, I mean, just India and China, 2 billion people. Then you. So usually what happens is all those countries have a certain advantage over people that came here to the US and went through their masters or PhD. That's what I'm advocating for, changing that. If you see there's only 20,000 visas or H-1B visas that are for US graduates, and then I think that's too little. That's not a cap, it's just the amount that was given. I'm not,
No,
There's,
as far as now, that's the amount that on average I took from the USCIS. It's that they control, that's the amount that was given on average over a 5-year period. So they could be, if more apply, more will be given, so there's not.
Granted, learn this country to gain the knowledge and skills of this country with the purpose of going back to their country and building it up.
Not every single,
that's what F1 visa was created.
Yeah, legally speaking, yes.
So by this resolution, we increase the cap of paying of these student visas, that hey, stay in here and let's benefit, the United States let's benefit from your work and not let you go back to your country. I agree that that would create a lot of tension.
Well, the visa exists, we're just talking about the
they
efficacy,
they
right?
can go back to their country, but
Not like starting a visa.
it's about their preference. And to be clear, there's 3 or 4 pieces of legislation that already have been produced to increase H-1Bs or to increase high skilled labor.
How long does that? In the lottery. So you here, on a student visa, you can work for 2 to 3 years, according to, the expert. If this lottery, you win, you stay here for another 3 years, you reapply for the H-1B or?
You can reapply, so you can extend it, and if you don't wanna stay, then you.
One
If you,
thing to remember that you have a green card. And I think what's problematic, and I think what, no one ever answered, why you guys should advocate on their behalf. You should advocate because as a total body, you have domestic students, you have international. And your peers are directly affected by this rule. And so what you should do is support the fact that you have international colleagues who, they don't necessarily know at the beginning of their journey that they can stay, or that we have these opportunities available. Equally, the United States did not create these laws under the impression that we could also benefit from them. The creation of the F1 and J1 visa categories was for them to go back home because we were supporting and encouraging development in underdeveloping countries. The underdeveloped countries, they're no longer underdeveloped. They're competitive right where we are. So that's why the U.S. is intimidated, being technical, since I'm giving you a technical background, we're intimidated by the evolution of developing countries when it comes to things that we were initially the leader on. So what's happening is they're getting over here, the students are learning, and they want to stay because they're experiencing all these things from their education and working. So yes, the United States is fearful that they would stay and not leave. They don't want refugees. All the negative things you think about why you don't want international or developing country residents to come to you. Okay, so all those negative things exist. However, the caveat is some domestic people, employees, do not maintain or have the education or skill set to perform the jobs that keep us competitive. So it really isn't a detriment or a harm to the U.S. regarding the people who are advocating for these EB green cards, for these H-1Bs, because they're not terrorists. They're not terrorists and they're not harming the U.S. You see what I'm saying? So it's ignorance where you get this striking this and support it because it does take a lot to learn these positions. I hate to overtake your meeting, but I really want you guys to support one another and understand how impactful and necessary it is to understand when these students come here, they don't really know everything that they know now, and they also don't know how to put it into words on why they feel like they should be at home because they're so disassociated from their culture and what's going on that they don't see a brighter future ahead. So it's subjective, it goes both ways. But what they're saying is the legislation that we create in the U.S. is what we should support to increase the amount of students who really want to stay and who lend themselves as allies to the U.S. They have that opportunity.
But I get exactly what you said. But it's no cap on student visas. And you put a number at 350,000. I mean, it could be way more. And then you have this H-1B, which is about 65,000. I'm looking at your pie chart, and only about 80, 100,000 out of that no cap student visa wants to stay. I don't
I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to respond, then we're moving to the next person.
Later in the evening, you have the opportunity to vote on different things. So if you don't support the H1B particularly, you don't have to, right? And then on the other hand, the reason that that another part of the legislation, not just H1B, it also focuses on permanent residency through skilled migration, right? So I mean, we're just presenting here the things, and then at least I did it personally on separate resolutions so that you can vote on specific things because we know that it was going to be a very complicated issue. We already know that. So
All right, here on the right.
More simple question. So for my peers, my first. Will this somewhat so all of this that's this or what is the ultimate goal?
Okay, so on what you're saying, the 100 citation, the EB visa has different categories. If you are an excellent, like a really high skill with a lot of citations or a professional athlete, you don't have that cap. This won't apply to you. If you apply, you don't need an employer. Let's say you win a Nobel Prize, you don't really need an employer. You just apply on yourself, and then you will get it. Then after that, there's a category based on you need a job and you need high skills. You still need high skills. That's to leverage or like help them and increase that gap on them. So I mean, eventually, if the numbers are increased, all of the EB process will, but that will help those who are in the. Yeah, if you are a 100 citation, you don't even need an employee. Sorry. Yeah, that's not specifically for them.
All right. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think this is a conversation that we need to be having right now unless we know exactly what. The effort and the contribution offered their comments. I'm not comfortable doing this. I'm an immigration lawyer, President. I don't really talk to somebody that knows. I can tell us exactly what we are arguing and.
Are you making a motion to table the resolution? Are you making a motion to table?
No motion has been recognized. I believe you had your hand up next.
Try to keep this short and as subtle and tactful as possible. I'm not sure if this is recent data. I welcome you to correct me if I'm wrong, but we do have a very big stamp on this, especially, again, this might not be recent data, that we have the largest international student body out of all public universities. I'm not sure about that on the graduate level, but I would assume that that's also there. And because of that, this is directly relative to our peers, our direct peers. And what happens when they graduate is if you buy into this whole ID code honor and ID network thing that, I mean, it's like in essence, but we're going to buy into that rhetoric and honor IDs in every other way, touting all that. Then we also need to be aware of what our fellow students want, our fellow international students want. And if it is to not be stuck on a waiting list, where if you actually read the exclusionary laws that were rooted into why China and India are extremely overrepresented in the waiting list, which if you want to know why that is, there's an hour-long lecture on that. And spoiler alert, it's rooted in racism. So this is something we need to talk about, and say that we need an immigration lawyer present if we're going to talk about this, is diversionary tactics. It's diversionary tactics because that means it's something uncomfortable that we don't want to talk about, the same way talk about and deal with and vibrate or talk about it, and to stimulate us to research it on our own. In all reality, we only have 2 hours here to talk about a very complex situation. So I thank you guys for doing this stuff because you've obviously got a mind for making us want things that directly impact our fellow students.
All right, next one is Tyler.
All right, so we've just seen this pretty complex presentation. Obviously, it's a very complex issue. We have 3 resolutions on the agenda that are more specific. Those resolutions have discussion period. So I would motion to move
If I'm interpreting correctly, there's a motion to move to the next agenda item, which will be a resolution that is relevant to the presentation. Is there a second? There's a second. Is there any discussion? Moving on then. All in favor of moving to the next agenda item, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. Are there any abstentions? All right. Alrighty. So next on the agenda, we have the increasing H-1B visas resolution. All right. Where are all those?
A resolution in favor of increasing the number of temporal employment H-1B visas. Whereas the Graduate and Professional Student Council exists to govern and to serve as the voice of all graduate and professional students at Texas A&M University. Whereas the H-1B program allows companies in the U.S. to temporarily employ foreign workers in occupations that require highly specialized knowledge. Whereas the H-1B visa has an annual numerical limit cap of 1,000 visas each fiscal year. First 20,000 petitions filed on behalf of beneficiaries with U.S. master's degree or higher are exempt from the cap. And whereas more than 350,000 student visas were issued for 2017, which means more than 80% of international students that obtain higher degrees from U.S. universities will not be able to stay in the U.S. and work after graduation. Let it be resolved, the Graduate and Professional Student Council at Texas A&M University is in favor of increasing the amount of H-1B visas given to foreign individuals with U.S. master's degree or higher that are exempt from the cap.
Please continue, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to name everybody.
Okay,
There's
let me
just too
further
many.
resolve a copy of this resolution shall be posted and delivered to all those.
Add a, or edit, what is it called?
You can make a friendly amendment, yes.
What's the provost's name? Dr. Carol, can you add her?
Is there a specific place you'd like to enter?
There you go, between Zoran and Young.
Can we start discussion? Chris, I'm gonna just start, okay.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yes.
Sarah from Floriculture, I definitely understand your concern, but I think what we really should focus on is the benefit of everyone having a diverse range of ideas that's all considered and craft our statement in such a way that reflects that without any kind of insinuation of who's going to stay, who's going to leave, and all of that, but just on a national competitive level, challenging ourselves to think differently by being surrounded by different benefits everyone and students. I don't know, it shouldn't have any negative connotation.
Ben? If you don't mind, let's keep moving. Ben?
Ben, because it's an economy, I'd like to.
There is an amendment on the floor. Would the authors like to accept it as a friendly amendment? President Fisher increasing, you want this to be what?
Temporary.
Moving on, yes.
I'm going to say, we want to communicate. I don't know how it works, but I don't know if I can make a motion. We should make a motion. Table this until we know that.
Before we vote on that, can we get any input from you guys on whether you consulted with ISS or who helped you guys craft this?
I was gonna say, actually, if we're going to have a motion for that sort of thing, what is the standard by which you are going to hold the resolution or this?
You never know what's gonna happen with any piece of policy until it's enacted. The thing is, there's benefits and harms with every single policy that's ever passed. I mean, the benefit of asking us to increase, we're not asking them to increase it by double, we're just asking them to increase it. I mean, we're asking it, maybe it's 10,000, these students are already here. I mean, we can further consult with people, and I spent a lot of time, I'm not an international student, I spent a lot of time researching it. I can guarantee you, even between next week and 2 weeks, you're still not gonna understand the process. There's still so many things about it. We can go talk to other people, we can have maybe ISS come and speak to us. I don't really know, but I don't really, like, there's no way to judge how it's gonna impact anybody. We can just make a stance on what we feel other students wanna see.
If you don't mind,
Just going back to,
let's keep the line going. Raise your hand, I'll get to you again.
I can share a little bit about this. Now, this is just from.
Please keep it under 2 minutes.
So this, so this is just on the literature from the school, not even from that literature, right? So they tend to have, circular innovation, especially if they go or to forest. They send back, the number was in the billions of dollars back to their, towns of origin, where they are building infrastructure, one story of particularly of higher water exploitation. So just on the money that was sent back to the United States from this, I believe a suburb, just that one group, and we got that much. Built a lot of infrastructure there, so that's, again, that's just from literature from the immigrant centers. I can only imagine what kind of. things
Yeah,
they're sending
remittances
back
is a
to
huge
the country.
thing. I know remittances is a huge thing, about billions of dollars to go back to the country.
All right, yep.
I mean, this information was sent out original, I guess, so, I'm an international student contact. So, and yet, you guys can make for it, and, there's a difference between us sitting here and voting to change a skill or to vote to increase. And asking us to vote on something that already on, I don't think, and I really appreciate the effort and time. We're gonna vote on this. We need to bring in people that are willing, that are a little more knowledgeable. And then give us the facts and then let us, and then let us take the time to think about this. So we, I'll do it.
I can send you that at the time.
Um,
I don't think I'm qualified, I'm not a lawyer, but you probably are gonna have to do this because of the way that your language is written and crafted. It's a taking a stand, this particular organization has domestic international students. Because of that, you cannot take a stance right now. You guys have to recraft your language. If I don't work there, I encourage you to talk to Bill Taylor, person that's planning on you should recraft your language, but you are taking elected on something that affects domestic. I'm not qualified, you're qualified. You guys have to take the conversation, you guys have to move on. You can't move forward because you're directly impacted.
If you don't mind, we're going to follow the procedure. We're going to continue the discussion, and motions are able to be made. But we do have a list of people that would like to talk. So, up top, did you have any further follow-up? Mhm. Next, yes. Yep.
I don't know what is not being, why people missing the mark. Like I'm not missing the mark, but I feel like you are kind of biased on this issue because I think everybody is, we all kind of feel a certain way. And I feel like you want us to pass it, but we all feel some. So I don't know how to make a motion or what, but.
You can move to table. You can also move to strike down. Would you like to make a motion? Otherwise, we have a couple other people that are on the list to speak.
Make a motion.
So table it if you want to vote on it at a later.
There has been a motion to table. The motion to table will end the discussion period and get rid of the list and move on to the next agenda item. Is there a second? There's a second. Is there any discussion on the tabling? Yes.
I just want to say, like, taking this discussion to the meeting that we're national students, it does not mean that we don't want to find subject. It means that we want to do this. And I think that everyone that came in this room, like, really takes time to, like, look into, so that next time we will feel more comfortable and we won't have, like, the feeling that we don't want to. We just don't feel, at least for me, I don't feel comfortable. I don't know what's going on, right? So I think just because, like, ignorance is not necessarily like. That's personal, that's just makes me feel about like, but we did. And so I think tabling the discussion is not something that anything, it means that we.
All right. Is there any further discussion? Yes.
I also. Not face myself. So I just, I'm very cautious about this issue. This group. Very cautious about the language, the intention we are doing. So I.
All right. Thank you. Amit.
I'm not trying to debate about whether this is right or not, but I feel that this is one-sided right now as it's presented because this is only focusing on the international.
Right now we're discussing the tabling.
Yes, well, I'm just talking about that, so we should introduce another part of it, probably table it, because the other part of it is, it would detrimentally affect the domestic students. The H-1B visa, it would detrimentally affect the domestic population. I was an international student, now I'm a domestic person, but the fact is we have to put the other side of H-1B, which is being misused actually by a bunch of companies out there. There are so many reports out there, including places like Disney, places like the IT companies. So we have to keep that balance and we have to keep that parity. So I definitely want this thing to be tabled so that we can further discuss, like, see the pros and cons to keep that equity.
Second row from the top. Yep.
So I think I agree with at the same time I'm this reason. I don't feel like I can agree with that. I do like it because my friend went through the lottery a lot and I know their frustration. So I just feel like I agree to move forward with this. But like the reason is not as strong. I know these other people have like
There's next.
Okay, I know this probably goes without saying, but each one of you represents your department or your organization, right? So in the next 2 weeks, don't just, research it on your own. Talk to the people in your department. Talk to the domestic students and the international students. Get a general opinion of how your department feels, because that is your responsibility as your department delegate. You vote as your department stand, not necessarily on your personal. So please.
I believe Kelly will be the last person on this discussion.
Okay, so I feel like there has been several people, basically saying that this thing does put a lot of work into it, and for us to kind of feel like, yeah, we're not sure about this being without our input, I feel like we don't want to come back and have this. So moving forward, since it seems like the thing table, how can we as a body continue to do input or get updates on this as it pertains to including like the language, whenever we go back to our different organizations, departments, that how can we do that?
So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking next week, everyone has to come here and provide all of their opinions. And after they talk to everybody, because you guys are saying, I'm learning a bunch, but I also, you guys are saying kind of ambiguous stuff when it comes to how to phrase things. So I need you guys to kind of think a little bit about how you'd like it to be crafted. So next week we can come here, and then 2 weeks after that, I can draft it.
Who are our outside experts who can bring in the gentleman and other departments?
We can bring in ISS, but we need to figure, I don't know what to ask him to present on. That's the thing. There's so many different things, like, when you start thinking about the intricacies of like, what do we want to talk about, like the lotto system, or is it what students here feel, or?
I would say, if you guys don't mind, that is going to bring their time for this discussion period to a close. We are going to vote on tabling this resolution. I promise you, there will be lots of other discussion periods for more. All right, all in favor of tabling this motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? All right, one abstention. This is now tabled. This will be moved to our pending business at our next meeting. We now have another resolution on the agenda. We'll be discussing reforming H-1B visas. I do hear that there's some discussion and there are some questions about who we should bring in. Would someone like to make a motion to open the agenda for that discussion?
So I thought it was just a table with strings attached, or table with like benchmarks.
And that's like passing a resolution.
Is there a motion to open the floor for a discussion on who to bring in or how to best educate this group? If not, we'll be moving on.
I'd like to make a motion to, yeah, so can we bring in some pros and cons,
Who besides ISS would be good?
Okay, there's a motion for opening the floor. There's a motion. Is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye. All right, the floor is now open for discussion on who we can bring in. Let's start with Matthew. I'll start taking the list. Matthew.
There is, ISS ran a session about 4 to 6 weeks ago, and they brought in an immigration lawyer out of Houston. Did anybody attend that session? Yeah. I have the contact for that lawyer, so I'll talk to Bill Taylor. Bill Taylor will be here in our next PA meeting to talk about ability. So I will talk to Bill and see if immigration lawyers can either ideally come here, satiate you, or B, Skype in and get the same kind of answer. I hear you when you're saying that you are uncomfortable making a decision on a litigious item that you might not know what it is. That then could come to represent. So the resources from our side is talking to Bill Taylor, director, and seeing if we can make contact to what we're trying to do.
All right, yes.
Actually, that's the case. Yeah, no, I'm not.
All right, up top, we had a hand? Yes.
We were bringing the speaker. I think it's more on who review the authors of the resolutions. As recommended and gone through have this review, have the language, that what we want to say is exactly what and it's said in a way that does not conflict with any. We are allowed to say what we want to say, the way that
feel like what he said, it only affect international. I don't really know too much about that. I'm not an international artist myself, but I feel like that language should be, that should be.
To be clear, language will never, no one will, not everybody will ever agree on one specific language. And there's not like a governing body here that would go through the language that would agree whether or not this represents everybody or not.
Yes.
Emily Barth, English department. I would like to know people who have problems. I read these when they were sent out to sound live. I read these, and other than a few minor language issues, I didn't really think like. I don't really. When people say I am uncomfortable with the languages of this resolution, I, as a rhetorician, would like to know specifically what phrases and what sentences and what words you're having trouble with because, sorry, I go into my other accent. I would like to know exactly because that would be really helpful for them and I teach writing. So I think pointing those specific things out for at a technical basis would be very good.
Also, if we're going to make amendments, we do need language. Matthew's next.
You like your angry accent, you like slightly cocky. I will say, I think the wider thing that we're having an issue with right now is, and it's something that we talked about at the start of the year, is that we don't want our work to be something that it's just a transactional relationship of resolutions and making connect. We want it to be stakeholders and we want this process to be transitional in terms of graduate professional representation. One thing I think that would help us in this moment to move forward with clarity is that you all have the resolution and you can all take that resolution back to your departments and you can talk about it and you can then annotate it in terms of what your department is coming to as consensus and send that back to Brennan. And then that would help us to get a sort of opinion of what you're all feeling and what you're all thinking. Go through one by one all our emotions and feelings in this moment. We are going to be here ad nauseum. Okay? So I think to have that little bit of paperwork that you go back to your departments and work on, and then bring back to us, can make this transitional instead of transactional, and we get it a bit further down the road.
Yes.
I think what everybody's kind of don't know too much about. So can we have her say why it's representing Tingling as a whole, and can we have the guy in the A&M Act say why it's not inclusive to domestic? I don't know. And what point of me is to go back and say, talk about something I don't know why, how it harm some students, because you just said it was not benefit some domestic, and why is it represented? I need more.
Well, I mean, sure, but also our job individually as representatives is to go to our student body, talk to both international and domestic students, ask them, how does this make you feel? And then they can tell you your feelings, and then you can fully better understand what it represents or what it doesn't represent. But I don't know if these.
Sure. Got 2 minutes?
Yes.
I don't even know if I'm actually I'm not a student. What you need to do is speak with write that down. That's who you advocate with. That's knowledgeable, but he doesn't. What I meant by clarifying your language is what is relative to rules, they're called regulations, and what you're saying so that they care, so that they don't impede for students who are not speaking out against. So like you're saying, let me not try to use my real words, I'm gonna use language words. Current F1 position. There are some who are cool with taking a position, there are some who are not cool with taking a position. The rule is that they cannot take the F1 visa. What I meant by change your language is to make sure you put literally word for word agrees with actual law. And the person who
Thank you.
I
Yes.
think
Sorry, Brent. Yep. Did you have something to add? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Hard time. No. All right. Let's move on to Callie then.
I acknowledge what you said about not technically like going and remaking. If you don't know how, I do think that we think we're thinking, like you said, of our department. I'm wondering, going back to what Matthew said, homework should be in this week or the meeting so that you can have it like homework.
Brent,
you're saying
response?
before next.
We,
can
we
just
do have
talk
spring
ab-
we do have spring
We
breaks
can
next
just talk
week.
about it next,
yeah, y'all
next,
can meet
and then
whenever.
I can present it in 2 weeks' time. I don't.
Have homeworut. Everybody.
You always have homework. I don't know if you guys know this, but you're supposed to always have homework.
You don't have to write it down, you don't have to make any formal log of it, but when there is some issue like this, I know only when I'm talking. But, in general, after these meetings, you should be going to your department and saying, whether it's a Facebook call or just a email or just you chatting with people in your department in the hall. Talk to you like, hey, the GPSC meeting, we talked about this, you guys have any opinion on that? And just feel it out, let's not be formal. Have a
Yes.
GGS or a GSA, bring it upstairs, but generally, yes, you have homework.
You're on the right. Yes.
I feel if we have to do with this,
Probably.
resolutions that are. So would it be possible to? Like we're going on.
Would you like to make a motion?
I would like to make a motion to.
Okay, the discussion can be ended. I'm not going to table the discussion for later date. We do have a couple more people that look like they're going to speak. However, there is a motion on the table to end the discussion. Is there a second? There is a second. All those is there any discussion on ending the discussion? I do see a hand. Yes.
I just have a question that I want to try to
Mhm.
I'm an international student and I obviously but I really want to know one thing that F1 or H1B by definition non-Indian with an intention that you need to go back.
Right now, the discussion is on whether or not to close the discussion.
No, I have
Not
a
on the
question that I
resolution
need
or on the
clarification
table.
on before I, or even if the 2 weeks later I want to ask. So I could ask you that. So, as an international student, can I vote on this that something that's not permanent at any with an intention? My visa clearly states that it's not in the.
You as a delegate can vote on any resolution.
So
Present
can
to
I
this group.
vote on it as an international student?
You are a delegate. It doesn't matter anything else.
You're
Yes.
representing your students, you're not representing yourself. So this is something you're not saying, I'm gonna change my status. You're saying, I'm just.
Yeah, but the thing is like, they also have international and domestic students. So if I'm voting for it, it's like the department is taking a stand and the people on the department are taking a stand and the people they have international students. So
And part of your job as a delegate is to talk to those people and know what their opinion is so that you can accurately represent them.
yeah, but
But you
like,
can't.
can I actually like say yes or no
Yeah.
on this one because even though I'm not in
You can
the-
say yes or no on anything. It doesn't, like, this has been passed in other schools and universities that represent other
Please make a motion.
international students and domestic
Please
students.
make
This
a
isn't
motion.
just something that is us. This is gonna go to them as a recommendation. It's not like this is actually gonna be a piece of legislation, but this is something that's saying that students on this campus would like to see this. But yeah, it's not like any formal, like your name's not tied to it. There's nothing, there's nothing that would ever be able to link this back, but this is who said what or anything like that. People
All right.
can also say no
Brenna?
on this too.
There's been a motion to move to previous question, which would end this debate. Effectively going with the motion that was already made. There's a second. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. All right, with that, the discussion is ended. I'm gonna go with
So I'm gonna
consent
make
agenda,
another,
moving on to the next agenda item. Yes.
Can I
Georgia,
make
present.
what is it called?
What do you?
Because I'd like to, can we just read this resolution, the other one aloud, and then you guys just go home and read it?
According to the rules, you have to read them through before they can make a motion to table it. So
Okay.
we use an amended Robert's rules. Yes.
Point of information.
Yeah. We've done.
This organization or disagreed on in the past, I think, even about the area on campus. So could you send out the meeting minutes or how that was handled?
I can see if I can dig. I was the one who wrote those resolutions. So
Yeah, so we can see how,
if you'd like, I can give a little context. I was there. I was the one who wrote those two resolutions.
yeah, well, I don't wanna make this a big deal.
I would agree. Let's save some more of this. Let's get through the actual reading before we move to the discussion period for this portion.
Before I start,
Brendan Fernando?
before I start, I just want you to know that this H-1B is not for migration system. This is a non-immigrant visa, so, you know, F1s and Gen1s that are not supposed to stay here or claim that they want to stay here, we're not addressing that yet. So this is just for those who don't want to stay here forever, but maybe want to work after graduation or for temporary employment. So just keep that in mind before starting to going into the other resolution. So a resolution in favor of reforming the temporary or temporal employment.
Let's do the amendments after you read through.
Temporal employment H-1B visa program, whereas the Graduate and Professional Student Council exists to govern and serve as the voice of all graduate and professional students at Texas A&M University. Whereas the H-1B program allows companies in the U.S. to temporarily employ foreign workers in occupations that require highly specialized knowledge. Whereas the H-1B visa has an annual numerical limit of 65,000 visas each fiscal year. The first 20,000 petitions filed on behalf of beneficiaries with U.S. master's degree or higher are exempt from the cap. Whereas the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services uses a computer-generated process, also known as the lottery, to randomly select the petitions needed to meet the caps of 65,000 visas for the general category and 20,000 for the advanced degree exemption. Whereas more than 350,000 student visas were issued for 2017, which means more than 80% of international students that obtain higher degrees from U.S. universities who know able to stay in the U.S. and work after graduation. And whereas the U.S. invests resources and money towards educating international students and their advanced degrees, a lottery system for H-1B visas puts those graduates seeking temporary employment at a disadvantage against international applicants with no U.S. education. Let it be resolved, the Graduate and Professional Student Council at Texas A&M University is in favor of giving complete preference to foreign individuals with U.S. degrees instead of the current lottery system for general category H-1B. Let it be further resolved, a copy of this resolution shall be posted and delivered to those who may send it.
All right, at this point, we are now opening the floor for amendments, discussion, questions. I believe you wanted to change the title to what? Like that? Was there a similar change that was going to be
I
made
can
to
do
the
that
list?
later. I'll do that later.
All right, cool. There's a motion, let's start up top.
I have a question. Why do we have lawsuits for it?
I think that's a little outside the scope. That is something that was made a long time ago by no one in this room. I'm not sure that.
Are you talking about this H-1B?
Yeah, I was asking why H-1B is not in place.
Yeah, we don't know, but this resolution is voting to change that. If you want to change that, and if you feel that that's unfair, I'll agree, or this resolution agrees, and that's what I'm trying to change. So.
seconds.
So it is like back to the same thing, same pull out of the thing. I think these are basically how all of this. What will happen if we and what path you actually take that you actually can like student for having it. So I think these are back to the same problem.
All right. No problem. Yep. Motion to table. There's been a motion on the floor to table the resolution. Is there a second? I'm hearing a second. Is there any discussion? Yes, Jesse.
So to get a clear understanding, what do you want the GPSC delegates to discuss with their organizations or departments based on?
Based on the tabling,
There's three.
Brenna?
Three.
So I'd like you to send this out and get feedback from different groups. I'll work on, trying to get an understanding of the legal aspect of this. We'll also bring in experts, but we need you guys to, talk with both international students and domestic.
All right. Yes. Right now, we're discussing the tabling of this resolution. You have a question or comment for that? If not, we're going to move on. Yes.
Mohammed, I was so how I perceived what you said. I'm gonna go and review my student more effectively. I'll make a Facebook post and let's say a poll or something, and I'll take their I'll explain the situation in the post and be with or against, and then I relay this to you. So next Tuesday, we meet. Gonna be spring break, and most of the folks are.
Next
out.
Tuesday. Yeah, we're.
The next
we're
GA
not here
meeting is
next
2 weeks from now.
Tuesday.
If you'd like, someone can make a motion to have held a special meeting specific to this issue. Otherwise, let's move to the next person. I believe Callie was next.
The result.
The procedures that we use generally mean we go through this process. We can kill the motion to table, and we will continue with the discussion for the resolution.
There's another
there-
resolution that looks similar, so you can ask it then.
There will, yes. Yes, Jesse?
Based on the three resolutions, are there any questions I should ask, my department?
Brenna, response?
I would say just ask them to read it, ask them how, if they agree or disagree, and, you know, how it makes them feel, if there's certain specific language that they,
All right, if there's nothing more, I'd like to finish this vote, close the discussion. It is now vote on whether or not to table the resolution. All in favor of tabling the resolution, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. All right, resolution has been tabled and will be moved to the pending business at our next meeting. The next order of business is increasing EB visas resolution. All right, Fernando, Brenna, can you please read through it quickly?
A resolution in favor of increasing the number of employment-based EB green cards, whereas the Graduate and Professional Student Council exists to govern and to serve as the voice of all graduate and professional students at the university, whereas the U.S. immigration law provides opportunities for high-skilled foreign nationals to become lawful permanent residents through employment in the United States, whereas employment-based green cards are given to foreign nationals with extraordinary abilities in science, arts, education, business, or athletics, outstanding professors and researchers, members of professions holding advanced degrees or who have exceptional ability, including requests for national security waivers, skilled workers, professionals, and other workers. Whereas the current quota for the total number of EB green cards is under 40,000 per year, and high-skilled workers from large countries like China and India have average waiting times of 5 and 10 years respectively to obtain an EB green card. And whereas the prolonged waiting time and uncertainty in permanent legal residency prohibit those skilled workers to fully participate and contribute in the U.S. economy. Let it be resolved, the Graduate and Professional Student Council at Texas A&M University is in favor of increasing the amount of EB green cards issued. Let it be further resolved, a copy of this will be posted and delivered to.
All right, up front, yes.
Motion to table.
There's been a motion to table. If you do, is there a second? There is a second. To be clear, we are going to have a discussion on whether to table. However, if the table vote goes through, we will table the resolution. If it fails, we will continue to hold discussion for the resolution. All right, is there any discussion on the tabling of the resolution? Unfortunately, I have procedures I need to uphold as part of my job here. So, is there any other discussion? Yes.
You mentioned that there is a possibility that GPS can have a special based on previous precedent.
Yes, we can. As per our bylaws, we can hold a special meeting. Notification needs to be sent out about a week ahead of time, in which case this special meetings are considered mandatory for eligibility for travel awards.
Special meeting, but it take place on
It would take place whenever we like. We will need to work to get a room, and that will be part of the information disseminated about the special meeting. But at this point, I think that there's some work that will be done in the background unless there is a motion by the body specifically for a special meeting. I'm not sure that we will be holding one. Is there any more discussion specific to the tabling of this resolution? Courtney?
Just wanted to say we tabled it without any, so, and this is also about a different visa than H-1B.
All right, Ben?
I'd like to mention that.
Yes, you can. Anything else? All right, seeing none, we are now voting on the motion to table this resolution. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. There is some division. I'd like to go to a standing vote. All in favor, please stand of tabling. Okay, all opposed, please stand. There a question? Yes, noted, thank you. All right, any abstentions? Okay, with 37 to 5 to 1, the motion passes. We are going to table the resolution. With that, we will be moving on unless someone puts in a motion. Otherwise, our next, yes?
Motion to organize special session on the subject.
There has been a motion to hold a special session. Now, for clarification, are you looking to add to the agenda or to create a special meeting that will be held separate from this meeting?
Motion to create special meeting.
There's been a motion to create a special meeting. Is there a second? All right, with that, is there any discussion as to preferences for times and places? The discussion happens before the motion actually gets voted on.
Did the meeting take place in the same setting?
We can try that. That'd be cool. Yes. As part of the exec team, just for our own sanity, would you guys prefer during or after spring break? Tyler.
I would like to recall that the week after spring break. For all of us.
Yes.
If we were holding it.
Mhm.
After the next time we'll meet.
Why don't we just extend an hour of our next meeting for this topic?
We don't have the room. We have the room till 8 o'clock, but we don't have an extra hour. We do have the room from 4 to 8 next week. If you guys would like to meet early, we can start that the week after. Apologies, in 2 weeks. All right, Courtney, I believe you're next.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say we can move this like next TA meeting that
We can also do that. Yes.
I was just gonna say, there's no point having a special meeting unless we have like creation lawyers and ISS. Otherwise, we're gonna end up
if we are able to pass a motion under conditions, if the XCOM could get everything together so that we could meet those conditions, there is potential to pass the motion with those caveats. Yes? No one requested one. And we did actually go and speak to legal services about that, specifically to get their input on that. So Student Legal Services helps with these sorts of things. We did go and again, this group speaks for this group. We do represent graduate students, but we make it pretty clear we're not speaking for the entire university, and that is pretty sufficient for them. All right, Matthew.
I did say 50 minutes ago that we would bring Bill Taylor, when these resolutions were brought forth again, that would be after spring break, giving you time to go back to email and get some.
I will note that might be a lengthy meeting. We already have a speaker lined up, so if we bring in them, it will possibly go over. We may want to consider extending our meeting time that day. Is there anything else? Otherwise, yes. Move to the previous question. Is that essentially looking to close the discussion here? Second. All right. Well, there's a motion to move the previous question and a second. That would essentially end the discussion, and we would move straight to the vote. So first, we're going to vote on ending the discussion, and then we would vote on the motion. So with that, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take discussion on that. Is all in favor of ending the discussion, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. All right, with that, we are now moving directly to the vote for the motion for the special meeting. We can get everything set up. I believe there are caveats attached to that. Yes.
The special meeting is come in here on our general meeting early. Is that part of that special meeting? Or is that a different?
If we can pull it together, we'll send out the information. Yeah, that's essentially it. All right. So for clarity, right now there is a motion on the table to create a special meeting. There has not been a time or date specified. However, it has been generally agreed that spring break is kind of out. The XCOM is going to need some time to pull some things together. It is likely that our special meeting will essentially be a longer meeting on our normal date on the 20th of March. All right? With that being said, we would likely bump up the time. We do have the room starting at 4 o'clock, and we will be talking to Bill Taylor as well as the immigration lawyer to figure out what their availability is. But we can get everything lined up. We will likely be starting early. We may also be ending late. We do have the room till 8 o'clock. Now, with all of that, if we vote no, it simply means we are going to continue with the agenda, which will move on to the Student Org Travel Award resolution. All in favor of passing the motion, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. Nay. Any abstentions? All right. With that, the motion has been struck down for the special meeting. We will now be moving on to the Student Organization Travel Award resolution. Matthew?
They said this would be like an easy job. Howdy.
Howdy.
You're like 2 seconds. Can you make that picture bigger for me, Chris?
Not by much.
Okay, to give you some very brief preamble, we have policy already on our website that what stipulations and all the criteria is there. There is currently no resolution that would give travel funds to special interest groups with the GPSC, recognized student organizations. And by recognized student organizations that are non-departmental, we're talking about like HLGSA, BGSA, all the non-departmental groups. Okay? So currently there's no proviso, no resolution, so that they can have travel funds. There's a document, document that's our travel fund document, that can be changed at any point. Trying to get a little bit more concreteness around travel funds if we can get it. Okay? No drama. It's quite a long, so settle in. Whereas the Graduate and Professional Student Council exists to govern and to serve as the voice of all graduate and professional students at the university, whereas the Graduate and Professional Student Council GPSC Travel Awards, sponsored by the Vice President of Research, aims to support professional development and high impact experience of the graduate and professional students in Texas A&M University, whereas to comply and receive a travel award from the Graduate and Professional Student Council, the applicant and applicant's organisation to which the applicant is claiming eligibility under must meet the following eligibility requirements. Whereas the applicant must be enrolled in graduate and professional student in a graduate or professional degree program at Texas A&M University, whereas the applicant must be in good standing with the university and their organisation, whereas the applicant must have GPA greater than or equal to 3.0, whereas the applicant's organisation must be recognised by and represented within the Graduate and Professional Student Council General Assembly, whereas the applicant's organisation must have eligibility voting delegate status within the Graduate and Professional Student Council before the opening of the travel award period, whereas if at least one person from that organisation is present at the GEA meeting, then the entire organisation is considered present at the GEA meeting, whereas before the first GEA meeting of the year, all organisations are considered eligible, whereas if an organisation is absent two consecutive GEA meetings, then the organisation is considered ineligible, whereas if an organisation is ineligible, then they must attend two consecutive GEA meetings to be eligible, whereas internal committee chairs have the right to decide if the committee members have the appropriate engagement in the committee to be marked present for that internal committee meeting, whereas if no one from the organisation is considered present at the GPSC internal committee meeting, then the organisation is automatically absent for the most recent General Assembly meeting, whereas the same eligibility rules apply to departments, delegates to gain access to travel awards, and whereas delegates represent an organisation should be able to access the same benefits as delegates representing a department. Let it be resolved. An organisation delegate will be privy to the same travel award opportunities as a department delegate. Let it be further resolved. A copy of this resolution shall be posted and delivered to the following names.
All right, I believe there was a friendly amendment that was going to be thrown in there.
Made by myself as I was reading, yes. Be great, sir. And just for clarification, everything I've just read is either on GPSC travel page about the rules of travel funds, or in the GPSC eligibility travel fund document. I haven't just made something up in a moment of megalomania. All of this is already in existence.
Might disagree with you on that. For my own sanity, would you mind if I'd like to propose an amendment to move this under to replace this too?
Yeah, the last couple of whereases and let it be resolved was bring two pieces of document together. I had those pieces.
Also, just for format's sake, I believe. All of these supposed to be as you're looking to make a change, such that organization eligibility essentially falls under the same rules as departmental.
Okay.
Right now, eligibility for travel awards is only granted under departments, right? We have several groups who have come to have delegates. There are student groups that have delegates on the GPSC because they represent a significant piece of the experience for a certain group of graduate students. And so this includes groups like IGSA, BGSA, the veterans, LGBTQA, we have Ys now. And so these groups do not confer travel award eligibility to their members. All of those members would still or should still get eligibility through their departments. However, we have experienced cases in which the delegates for those groups are only able to represent one group, so they can't represent both their department and their student organization. And so as they are here representing their organization, if their department does not have another person here, despite being the delegate, they aren't eligible for travel awards. The purpose of this will be to mean that any delegate who is here and meets the criteria, so they're here consistently, right? They're going to be here every meeting. They will have eligibility. It's not going to give eligibility to their organization, but it is going to mean that the people who are here putting in the work, representing people, get the same benefits as everyone else, and a lot of people who don't do any work for the group, right? Who get eligibility through the departments.
Okay, that sounds right, but should leave the where.
These whereases are non-existent. These are things we want to change, so they should be let it be resolved.
Describing the current state though?
Not for organizations. It's true for departments, it's not true for student organizations. And so, when right here, we're trying to set up the conditions under which those delegates will receive eligibility. Does that make sense? Because here, all of this is stating new things. This is not stuff that is part of our bylaws currently. This is stuff that mirrors our bylaws, but it's mirroring for the organizational delegates as opposed to the as opposed to the departments. Right now, our bylaws just have these requirements for our departments.
This is in the travel document, it's not in the bylaws. Moving it from, making the policy.
Yeah?
Thank you, Chris.
You okay with me making those changes?
Yes, sir.
Questions, can we take those?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Friendly amendment. Well, maybe change it.
Yes, I don't think it can come back. Yeah, it could be a full and all
Template may not have been updated.
I had one template provided to me by the ED.
By me. Yep.
Motion to bring resolution to vote.
There is a motion to move to previous question. Is there a second?
So are you saying that the entire organization? Just that specific.
Equal input, equal outcome. Input, equal outcome.
It is saying specifically that the organization delegate will be privy to the same travel award opportunities. Yes.
If you have a delegate who is not like this, and they're part of the whole organization.
Nope.
Only that delegate.
Only that delegate. That delegate's the one doing the work, and ideally, the members of that organization would be getting eligibility through their department.
So they're on the delegate.
Yes.
So why does it work for the department?
Because the people in the departments may not have any other means under which they would be eligible. The people in the organizations do have a means through their departments, and we're not looking to provide extra coverage through organizations. Otherwise, you're going to end up with inequities with departments where some people within a department are and some people within a department aren't, specifically because of participation in another student organization. Yeah.
Okay. First question, is that when we decided to, when we decided to vote to let them, decided on the basis that it was have voting rights, any other rights as a department, that was the whole basis. So they already gonna get these travel awards from their department. Why we need to make sure they get okay, for second time, well, this organization, and you should get these travel awards. And then my second question is, how many delegates do these organizations get? As the first after we do STEM was zero. So does that mean all three of them they interchange and vote, and all three do four?
Only
What's the rule?
I would just want to address the second part especially. So each department or organization can have 3 delegates. This specifically would apply to delegates who meet the attendance criteria of our travel awards. That being any delegate who does not miss 2 consecutive meetings, if they miss 2 consecutive meetings, they have to attend 2 consecutive meetings to become eligible. So not all 3 delegates would be eligible unless they're all regularly attending. Yeah, so, and then. Well, I think it says in here that they're, yeah.
Because they don't send anyone. Everyone, yeah.
Every, I do, like every who is a department or an organisation. But some, for example, say dentistry, they don't need travel funds and their distance. In some cases, the distance students don't send delegates. We're working on those pieces, but there are steps that we. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, thank you. There has been a motion to move to previous question, which means that we would end discussion and go straight to the vote for this without, and we would no longer accept amendments, discussion, questions. Is there a second? There was a second, yeah? All right. If you would like to continue the discussion, you should vote no on this motion. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. There is division. We'll move to a standing vote. All in favor of the motion, please stand. Clarify, this is the motion to vote. This is a motion to move to previous question, yes. 1, 2, 3. Stop the discussion. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. All opposed, please stand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. All right. Any abstentions? All right. With a vote of 32 to 9, the motion to move to previous question has passed. We are now ending the discussion period. We're moving straight to a vote on the bill, on the resolution itself, as it currently stands. All in favor of passing the resolution as it currently stands, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. All right, with that, the resolution passes. Thank you. All right, now we do have a fair number of voice reports and standing committee reports, so I ask that all of you please keep your comments and things that are brief. All right, Ben, you want to start us off?
Physics and astronomy festivals banned.
All right, next, GSO. GSO Research Symposium? No, maybe? All right, moving on then. Are there any other departmental program or organization announcements? Yes.
I went to the College Station Council, and the only thing relevant to graduate students would be that they approve a bicycle parking ordinance, so they are modifying bicycle parking in commercial areas. So it should be online if you want more information.
You have a summary for what the changes will be?
Yeah, it's online.
Alrighty. Anyone else? Yes. You all right? You all right?
Okay, so HLJ is having a study the same thing, that you're having your social. Please come by and, maybe for a profit share, how value.
One word, D-O-B-E.
There you go. There you go. And it is, you're not, moving where it's located, where we're all very nice restaurants are open right now. Right, and the movie theaters are open soon there too, so it's really great chance to take a look around and what's going around College Station, as well as part of the fundraising for our end of the year.
All right. Anyone else? Yes.
As head of the student affairs, the advisory board, meeting interviews and deliberations, I'm happy to say that we now have 2 graduate students on a board of 9, and 1 will eventually become. So now we have representation on that board.
Yes.
So tomorrow you think I might have a I will appreciate it, your time.
Up.
The next school having their open house Saturday, March 24th. That's what we have.
Anyone else? Invest. Yes, Ananya. Right. All right. Seeing no other hands, we're going to be moving on. Awards. You want to cover it? Don't throw it up there, but yeah, the EIS thing.
Symposium, I have a flyer, flyers, no, not that one.
Cool. Oh, maybe. Oh, where is it? I'm seeing it right now.
Okay, well, there's flyers somewhere.
There's a.
But anyway, the Ecological Integration Symposium is, April 5th and 6th. It is, first day is like student competition, first day is plenary and the second day is student competition. Typically, the speakers are people focusing on things like, environmental sustainability, conservation, social justice, those sorts of things. So they're usually pretty good. There are international speakers and national speakers. And if you are interested in presenting in that symposium, the application is closed March 5th.
All right, awards. I think the gist is that there's another travel award period. Apply. Summer's a thing. Yeah.
amazing. And we've already started, but have a deadline on Thursday. So also you have opportunity to start.
If you look at our Facebook from today, Francisco posted there's about 4 or 5 different awards going out. Use one of them, the different awards coming out. Look at our Facebook and all the details.
Brenna, Prospect.
All of you should have gotten the attachment for Prosper. This is something that Paige put together, so it goes through the different provisions that were repealed in the House version of the Prosper Act, and it hasn't come out to their version yet. But just, you guys want to read through it, call your about language that you feel negatively impacts higher education.
Do you remember which senator was taking comments?
Oh, Murray, Senator Murray received the story. That link is on there, her email's on there, she sees the story.
Essentially, Senator Murray was looking for anyone whose threats and experiences being impacted by. Yeah, I read stories. So, anyone who's being negatively affected by the legislation, feel free to write her. She's paying attention. All right. Next, Emmett.
Yeah, working on the cost of living projects, actually, this is something that we're comparing Texas A&M with the other major cities. We're just trying to find out how the cost has changed over the years. We're trying to find out whether the graduate students, the kind of TA-ship or instructorship, TA-ship, scholarship, how much they're getting, vis-a-vis how much the cost of living has gone up. We have felt that it has gone up consistently, and we are just barely breaking even if at all. So we are working on that. I've got some data about UG. We are collecting about the major universities within Texas. We have the committee meeting today, which we decided that we'll deal with University of Houston, we'll deal with Texas Tech. What we're doing is comparing the cost of living vis-a-vis the rise, the assistantship rise that they have got, but we did not. So we'll present this one in a kind of a comprehensive manner to tell the university administration. So this is what other universities have done, and we have not done, so we need to increase that. We are still working on that. This is just
All right. Marketing communications.
Alright, so we do have a preliminary draft of pop banner, nice visual break. So we are working on it. If you want to submit images to have on it, you can send it to the email address that's attached. That's it for that. It's simple. Facebook, we're posting stuff, so if you want something posted on there, send it to me at the same email address, and I'll get it on there. Flyers are nice because they're free. And then again, tell your departments to join the page so they can see the updates. It doesn't work if nobody wants it.
All right, programming. Community Scholars event. OGS is a huge supporter of our work, and we're a big supporter of them. So sign up, RSVP. It's good. The dinner's gonna be on the 10th. Go and use this link, register. It'll be good. All right, moving on. I just want to remind you, GPSC officer applications are open and they need to be filled out very soon. We will, at our next meeting, we're supposed to be having a question and answer period for our applicants. So get them in. Hopefully we won't have to struggle the schedule to accommodate apathetic grad students. Otherwise, yeah.
Just like to make a motion to add an agenda item to.
There's a motion to add an agenda item for an update to Student Research Week. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. Okay, go ahead, Matt.
So think of it as no student research closed, and it's needs to be had, or we are getting financial support from every single college. We have financial support to and we have testers from every single college except nursing. I'll look at that one for a while. In total, we have 865 participants, 201 judges, and 160 volunteers who are very rapidly growing the space at the MSc. And we have a plan to move into hotel and conference. Really sort of have a high impact to the students. As you know, we are the largest symposium in the US. So we are larger than our largest platform. This is the largest SRE ever.
Quickly, election. So schedule essentially goes, you apply now, you get vetted and say, yes, you're able to do it. Next meeting on the 20th will be when there's Q&A. And so all the candidates will come up, you'll all get to ask some questions and make sure they're actually going to do a good job, actually represent you guys, gals, everyone. Make sure that they're strong candidates. After that, in April, we will be voting for officers, all right? So that does happen before the last meeting of the year. And after that, the officers will open up positions for the committee chairs. Yes?
Two quick questions. Do the applications close the day of the applications?
No, because there need to be vetted first. The applications will actually be closing this, are they? I think it's supposed to be this Friday. And then we, as an XCOM, have a week to just make sure everyone is actually eligible who has applied. Honestly, when it comes down to it, the requirements are pretty low. Essentially, for everything except for the president's position, the requirements are you're going to do it. Show up, you're going to do the job, you know what the job is, and you've met with Stephanie Baker. For the president's position, you also need to have your advisor sign off on it. Okay, that's essentially it. There's a couple other things that we'll go through, and just it allows the GA and the XCOM to make sure that yes, you're going to be a good candidate. But other than that, it's minimal requirements. I believe our bylaws say that the president should have some experience with GPSC, so all of you are eligible. Surprise. Essentially, that helps protect the GPSC from having someone who has zero experience with the group come in, and there was an instance about 7 years ago where things went very poorly because an outsider came in and they just didn't know what the job was, and so they did a very bad job at it. All right, moving on. That was enough time.
Two questions, sorry. The other
Yeah.
question was, what is the current state of how many people have applied?
Zero have filled out the online application.
Great. So you have a really good shot of getting it.
Yeah.
I ran unopposed last year.
And like I said, the president's position is paid, so at this time it is. We have been working through the years to try and expand it so that it's better paid as well as expand and provide some small stipend for other positions. But yeah, it's hard to squeeze money out of this university. Jesse?
When will the election?
The elections will happen, I believe, first week in April. Hopefully, I mean, depending on how things go at our next meeting, which is, we'll see what happens. If things have to get pushed out, things may have to get pushed out, but I would prefer not to do that. I'd like to stick to our bylaws. Tyler?
Do we have to, is there any way we can extend the, like, if they close Friday and nobody's done it?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I move to extend the application period to at least the next meeting.
Are we talking the 20th? Or are we talking March 20th is when you're looking to extend it to?
Is that when the
That's
presentations
when
are?
yes.
Yeah, I would say till midnight that day. So if anyone.
So
Presentation.
midnight that day or midnight the day before?
Previous day.
The night before?
Midnight the next day, I guess, because we get to that day and somebody gets a presentation, somebody else goes, man, they suck. I would like to apply. Then they should
I think for our bylaws, we're supposed to like vet the candidates for the.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a week of vetting
Yeah.
between the vote
So we'll
and
need at least
the.
some time between when it
else.
closes and that meeting.
Would you guys, I mean, there can be, the group can make a motion to table or extend things to effectively do what you're asking for, but hopefully the people who have ideas for this group and are able to be leaders know that now and aren't going to be hanging on until they don't like what they see. Yes? March 13th, which will be the Tuesday of spring break. All right, there's a motion to expend the applications to the 13th of March. There is a second. Is there any discussion? Thank God. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. All right, those applications will be extended. We will jump on that. Thank you. Mr. President, you have little bit of time. IRB.
As I said before, if you're thinking about a VP position or at the end. Okay, so as you know, Sarah and I had a meeting at IB office the other week, and the piece that they would like us to do is basically a flow chart of, for example, does it have human subjects? Yes, no. Are they a vulnerable population? Yes, no. If yes, what kind of vulnerable population? That will help you to get to examples of what you need to put in for the IRB, for those box statements. Okay? And what we're trying to do is reduce the amount of time that an IRB takes to process, and then the number of rounds that you have to go back and forth with the IRB office. The outcome for some students is that they don't get the IRB passed in time and they don't graduate in the semester that it was their intention to graduate. There's a real pain point around this for some students. The piece that we need from you, Sarah has her research committee already, but this is a really big job. This is like a major project. So what we would like to do is form a special committee, just deal with the IRB. Okay? So if you have been a little bit fallow within your committee, maybe work during the spring, or you're about to do an IRB and would enjoy a slightly easier, more efficient process, then please, I'll send an email out just for this. Okay, for you to sign up just for this email. All right. If nobody.
The GPSC actually has a formal process for creating special.
Okay, going through the process.
Essentially what happens is you come up with a very brief resolution that says, hey, this is why we need it. This is what it will do. They have very specific things they have to do. And there's a very specific end date where that committee will be dissolved.
I'll do that. Let me just digress very quickly. One of the reasons why tonight is so sloppy is because half of the GPSC had other engagements. Half of the XCOM had other engagements last week, such as getting ready for defences or sickness, family needs, stuff like that. So we didn't meet last week, which is why this week looks like we're kind of winging it. We are this week. We haven't met. Okay. Just give you that little caveat. Okay, so the IRB, I'll write that resolution.
All right.
We're winging it next week.
GPS LCG.
Okay, GPS LCG. So through the Vice President of Student Affairs, there is a group of the SGA that meet, which is all of the undergraduate committees and all the undergraduate groups. For example, Fish Camp, Yale Leaders, the battalion, they all meet. Okay, and as graduates, we've been kind of let down a little bit. I attend that meeting, and there's one for also SGA, just the SGA committee, like internal external research affairs. I also attend that meeting. That meeting's on the same night as our meeting. So I attend that meeting when we don't have a meeting, because break and go back. And then through negotiation with Dr. Pugh since the end of the fall, we negotiated the Graduate Professional Student Leadership Communications Group would be formed to represent non-departmental groups. Okay, take you through that really quickly. Those groups that are currently members, and I want you to think about who's not a member and should be a member, because this is where I need your help. So current members are AGPCC, okay, so Aggie Graduate and Professional Student Club, ASTEP, which is the Aggies in Science, Technology and Engineering Policy, so ASTEP, I remember, the battalion, so that they meet in small group form. BGSA, Black Graduate Student Association, GPSC, that's us. HLGSA, Hispanic and Latino Graduate Student Association, IGSA, which is the Indian Graduate Student Association, ISA, which is the International Student Association, LGBTA TAMU, which is the Lesbian, Gay, Bi and Transsexual Aggies, TAMU. The student body president also attends on behalf of SGA. And then Student Veterans Association are invited but have not attended one yet due to scheduling conflict. And then WISE, which is Women in Science and Engineering, and then CSSA attended the last meeting as a new member, so that's the Chinese Student Scholars Association. We are in the process of reaching out to the Pakistani Student Association, the Korean Student Association, and the Persian student association, but if there is an association that is missing, there are two reasons. One, either they're not showing up in STUAC. There are 108 graduate organizations in STUAC. Almost all of them are represented here, or this group. There are some that don't show up in STUAC, and that's because they're not a formally recognized student organization, or they've filled out their application incorrectly and they haven't elected that they accept graduate students as a member. Okay, I'm working with STUAC to develop that, but their system is a little bit old school. Okay, any questions around that group? So it's a non-departmental organization group. It is a sort of round table style group. There's a little bit more discussion than this. Is there anybody missing from that group? Okay, give us some thought. Email me if something's done.
All right, thank you. Do we have any administrator comments tonight?
Yes, I chair community of scholars, you mentioned it briefly. One thing to add, he always talks about dinner and dialogue. This year we are having a scholar student association. On April the 10th, we're having a dinner and dialogue. On April the 11th, we're having a networking social that's running from 9 to 3:30. And on Thursday, April the 12th, we're having an Aggie graduate community graduate student have a spouse or children, parents who are here or live here in Texas. To the Aggie, I can't see, I don't have one of these glasses. All the information is at the text ag link there. I think that's the text ag. I don't know what it is. So if you need to find out more information, but we invite you all three events for you to celebrate.
All right, thank you. And with that, if you haven't met with your internal committees, make sure you at least touch base with your chair. All right, with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn. I think I heard a second. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? All right, have a good night.